good. So we've got some younger people too. I think first time you've been here. So, yeah. So that's
Yeah, I don't remember seeing you. Have we met before?
No.
No, okay.
new volunteer.
Very
So we're
nice.
encouraging people to come and join and be part of it. So they can start helping in the next organization.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll get started. Yeah.
Do we have a mic or no?
You need one? You mean for that one?
Yeah.
That
If it is there, it is better.
Yes, I do have it. Is USB? Where's it at? Is that a USB?
Yes.
Then I have a camera.
Not a camera. An amplifying mic.
Amplifying for ours here.
Yes. Is it
Oh,
there?
then I can get
Yes.
that.
You have? You have?
Yes, yeah, I have everything.
Okay. Perfect.
It will take some time. How much time? Roughly.
Just started.
Okay.
Yeah, we just started. I'll dig it out. But you don't need it for Zoom.
It also helps the Zoom.
But that's a different microphone.
No, it also helps the Zoom. If this is amplified, it helps the room and the Zoom.
Okay,
Yes. It helps the room and Zoom.
Want me to come and help you, Raj? Yeah, come on.
Come sit. Sure, thank you. What is your name? I didn't get your name.
Anandi.
Anandi. Nice name. We all know Ananda.
Anandi is always in Anandi.
That
Always
is good.
smiling, always jumping around.
That is very nice. That is wonderful.
We're happy to have her. She came back only, came from India a couple of years ago, right?
Welcome. So while we wait, we can have some question answers so that perhaps we can preempt some afterwards, because they told me to end a little early because they want to do some prep for dinner.
No, you don't need to end early. It's just that last 15 minutes I'll just go and start warming up a little.
Yeah, no, I'll end early, no problem. Yeah. Everybody is looking forward to the dinner, I'm sure. Much more than the talk. So any questions beforehand? Yes, Sharada.
I have a question about how Atma-jnanam
Yeah.
can take the undifferentiated whole and create the illusion of upadhis. Like, how does it work?
How does Atma-jnanam take the
Undifferentiated wholeness
yes.
and turn it into these upadhis that mistake themselves for...
The Ajnanam doesn't do that. It's Jnanam that does that. Yeah. Jnanam is the one that as though morphs into many, many names and many, many forms. It's what Jnanam? It's not Jnanam of one thing. It is Jnanam of everything. It's Jnanam incarnate. It is Satchidananda plus Maya Upadhi. The Maya Upadhi makes it into Ishvara, and because it is Ishvara, it is all-knowing and ever-present and wonderful, etc., etc., etc. and it has the ability to create one out of the many as though. It becomes the as though cause. Now, this is for Ishvara. For Ishvara, Maya Shakti is all knowledge. For the jaded, faded Jiva, the individual, however, that same Maya Shakti is Ajnana, which mistakes the differences in the Upadhis and takes them to be real. That's why we say Aghatita Ghatana Patiyasi Maya. You make the impossible possible. Oh Maya, you make the impossible possible. You're right, you do have everything.
Everything is buzzing. This way around. Yes. Hello? Yes, please send them up.
Can I ask one more question, or is it?
Yes, ask another question. Yes.
Okay, so I have a little bit confusion on the terminology part of it, right?
The terminology.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we say Manomaya, I'm just going to read some verses and that's why I'm looking at this. When we say Manomaya, it is a mind. It consists of the organs of perception and the mind. And when in the definition of Vijnanamaya, it is the buddhi along with the sense organs.
Yes, correct.
So both mind and both the manas and the buddhi both have access to the sense organs. And when the resulting vritti, if it is sanchala vritti, it is manas. If it is
Nishchayatmika vritti, it is buddhi.
it is buddhi.
Yes.
Okay. Now, where I'm getting a little bit confused is when we also say Vijnanamaya Kosha, we always refer to the karta, the doer. So my question is, so the whole perception is included in both the manas and the buddhi. Is the buddhi vritti being referred here? Is it pointing to karta or is it the decisive, the thought?
Both. Because when I decide, what is it that I decide? I decide to do something. You see?
Right.
The decision always in the intellect is the precursor of action.
Okay.
Without decision, you cannot take action.
Okay.
So you make the decision, and then the decision precedes the action, or the action follows the decision, and then the action, when the action happens, the decider takes herself or himself to be the doer.
Okay.
This is the recipe for sorrow. If you want to be sad very, very quickly and instantly, like right now we have instant tea, instant coffee. So if you want instant sadness, what should you do? Say, I am the agent of all action. Simple. Instant recipe for sadness. That is what Vijnanamaya is.
So just to clarify one thought on that one. So the first one is the decisive thought is also Vijnanamaya, but when it is a thought, it is still an object. But when the thought converts into an action, then it is a karta who is doing that action.
No, the thought converts in. It's not the thought converts into action. The decisive thought precedes the action. Before I do something, I have to, let's say I say I'm going to such and such a place.
Okay.
I have to decide that first. I can't go without the decision. So the decision, the decisive thought has to precede the action, because otherwise I don't know what I'm doing. So that is what it is. And then when the action happens, I mistakenly identify as the agent of action, and that is Vijnanamaya. Okay? Is that clear? Okay, good. Shall we start? Yeah, please come sit. आइए बैठिए. Sit. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskar to everyone. Nice to see all of you. And the topic for today is accepting that which is inevitable. Accepting the inevitable is the topic for today. And this is something Raj suggested, and we will look into that. But before that, we have to see, we have two words in the title. First is accepting, and then inevitable. And both of them we need some commentary on that. In the quote unquote regular world, not in the Vedantic world, in the everyday world, oh, I have accepted this. When somebody says, there is a certain kind of a resignation. Yeah, I have to accept. What else to do? I've accepted this. What other option is there? Have to suffer this. Like a chronic illness. I've accepted this. I have to do this. Not that there is not a fear of not that there are no other emotions like fear, resentment, all these things, sadness will be there. But then the acceptance is more in this case of manifests as an apathetic resignation. Yeah, whatever. It's the same thing towards everything. And we have a hand gesture to go with it. Goes like this. Yeah. How is life? How is your job? What is this? Before I came to this country, I didn't know what this is. We don't do this in India. Maybe now, because of the American influence. But we don't. This is not an Indian hand gesture. This is an Americanism. It's almost like falling off a precipice. That's also true, but it's more like, that's the feeling behind the gesture. But it's more like saying, so and so. Life is like a seesaw. So. How is life? Mostly okay sometimes. Not good. To everything, I have this gesture. How is the job? Why? The pay is good, the boss is a control freak. How are the children? They are alive. That's all I know. Why? Because they are teenagers. I rarely see them. And finally, how is the marriage? This is our idea of acceptance. This is our idea of acceptance. This is the apathetic resignation. You ask any question, sometimes people just sigh before giving the answer. Oh, that. That is not the acceptance that we talk about in Vedanta, thankfully. Oh, is there another acceptance? We'll find out. Answer, of course, is yes. The short answer is yes, and we are going to find out that yes, there is indeed another acceptance that is not a resignation, that is much more proactive. And what that is and how to get there, we will think about it as the talk progresses. Then the word inevitable also needs a little bit of a footnote, a thesis, something. Inevitable generally means, I knew you would do this. Yeah, this is what it is. I knew this would happen. Why? Because you didn't listen to me. That's why. It is inevitable that these kinds of challenges you would have in your life, because this is what I wanted and this is what I wanted you to do. And did you do it? No. So, and therefore, this is what will happen. Of course it is inevitable. Says who? The one who thinks everything is in my control. I'm the monarch of all I survey. There's a poem like that. And because of this, we do not understand what is acceptance. We do not understand also what is inevitable. It is inevitable that we do not understand these two things. Because not that the definition of these words, these are not complex words. They are common words in the dictionary. They are not like some 4-syllabic, multi-syllabic word which has a complex meaning. No. This is what we use every day. Then why is there a shroud of obfuscation of the meaning? Why have we transformed the meaning into this? Because there is a patina of our own hopelessness over the definitions. The definitions have fused or coalesced with our own hopelessness, our own fears, in other words, our own subjectivity. Yeah, settle down. Yeah. Our own subjectivity. Because of this, we have to look at it, the whole situation, from the Shastra's standpoint. In the Upanishads and in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is told, you are not the doer. You are not the doer. What are you? An instrument. You are not a doer at all. You are an instrument. The instrument does not do. It is exactly what it is. It's an instrument. It's a means of doing, but you are not the doer, and that is something which is the crux of the vision of Vedanta, is to understand this non-doership. But this knowledge escapes us, eludes us, deludes us even, because I try very hard to do the not doing. You see, there is a problem there. I'm trying really, really hard to not be a doer, not do the doing. And therefore, we have to radically restructure. I forgot to record, so I'll start now. We have to radically restructure the understanding of these concepts because of the haziness and the overlay of individual and collective subjectivity. That is why it is not clear. The inevitable, we have a name for the inevitable. Apariharya, that is the name. It's a topic, it's a word that is used in the Bhagavad Gita a lot, especially in the second chapter. Tasmad apariharye arthe natvam shochitum arhasi. Because this is inevitable, therefore, Arjuna, you do not need to grieve. In fact, psychologically speaking, this is the wrong thing to tell a person who is grieving. Somebody is sad, you say, please don't be sad. Are they going to oblige? Did the sadness take an appointment to come? But Lord Krishna gets away with it. How? That's because he is Krishna. He is not you. He is Krishna. He can get away with a lot of things. He's a trickster in so many ways. But that's because he gets away with it because it's a teaching situation. He is not comforting Arjuna as a friend. He's actually teaching Arjuna as a teacher. Because he's many things to Arjuna. He's a relative, he's a friend, he's a teacher, everything. And so he's teaching Arjuna as a teacher. And in the teaching situation, you can say that your grief here is not in keeping, is not appropriate to this situation. Meaning, it is why? Because the situation is inevitable. It is inevitable that the Rakshasas are on the rise. Rakshasas means demonic beings. It's inevitable that they are harassing. It's inevitable that they are warmongers. In the context of the Gita, they are scratching for a fight. They are itching for a fight. It's inevitable that they have usurped all the land. It's inevitable that even I, who is known as Lord Krishna, could not do any truce between the two parties. He went to negotiate. He just said, you know what, they don't want much. And he said, just between you and me. He told the baddie. Who is the baddie? Duryodhana. He told the villain, he told the baddie, you know what, just between you and me, they're just a bunch of weirdos, these 5 brothers. And they've been living in the forest for 12 years. And 1 year incognito. They don't have a lot of needs. They are no longer used to palatial comforts. Give them 5 principalities, they'll be happy. No. all right, doesn't matter. Give them 1 principality with 5 villages. No. Give them 1 village with 5 houses. No. Give them 1 house with 5 rooms. No. Give them 1 room with 5 corners, pentagon, No. And then he said, you can save your breath, Krishna. You can save your breath. You know why? Because I'm not going to give them even as much space as is occupied by the tip of a needle, a pin. How much space is occupied by that? No space. In other words, I'm not going to give them any space. So even Lord Krishna comes back hanging his head in disappointment. And then many people say, Lord Krishna is Ishvara. Is he not? Yes. Then Ishvara can do everything. Why could not Ishvara stop the war? Why could he not have done some miracle to be able to stop the war? Because this is not the Ishvara of the Vedic tradition. The Ishvara, Bhagavan, God in the Vedic tradition is not a guy in the sky. No. Ishvara in the Vedic tradition is a very sophisticated understanding. Ishvara in the Vedic tradition is that Shakti which cannot go against itself. It too has limits. Why? Because people have free will. Free will is given by what? Ishvara. So here, this baddie is using the free will to make bad decisions, going against Ishvara, and there are certain karmic laws. The whole world is in the form of laws. Those laws also are Ishvara. It's a very, very sophisticated understanding. I'm going to spend some time here because sometimes when we use the word Ishvara, we get hives. What is that? Ishvara allergy. Yeah. Because every bone in the body rejects the concept of some being overseeing me, overseeing all the people, overseeing that, because that is what is pushed. That's what is pushed down our throats with the help of a stick. The stick of religion, the stick of this is, why are we doing this? Because, shut up, because my parents did this and my grandparents did this. And then what? You also have to do it. Why? Because you were born in this family, simple. These are the family traditions, this is what we do. Okay, what will happen if I don't? God will get angry. Then the child starts to think, okay, God also gets angry. I thought God is different because I get angry and I feel a sense of limitation when I succumb to anger. And if God is also getting angry, then where will I go? Even the holiest chant in the Yajurveda is what? The Sri Rudram. That also in the beginning depicts an angry God. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha Namaste Astu Bhadhanmane Bahubhyam Utate Namaha. Rudra. The word Rudra is itself scary. Rud means the one who makes you cry. Sarvan rodayati. Not just you, everyone. Sarvan rodayati iti rudraha. And then what? Rudanam dravayati. Then after that, feels sorry for you and wipes the tears with a hanky. This, the two meanings of Rudra, very, very interesting. Again, very sophisticated. In the beginning, we don't understand. We look up the translation. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Oh, hanky God. Thank you. Namaha. Salutations unto you. And this Rudra is depicted as a hunter with a bow and arrow. And who is the target? Me. OMG. The arrow is the karmic arrow. And it is coming for me. And in this prayer I say, look at this one. This one has been bad. Go here. Go here. Go over there. Don't come to me. So not only Namaha to you, Namaha to your bow, Namaha to your arrow, and then look at those big hands, big arms. What are they for? To shoot the arrow against me, of course. And then what? Namaha to those strong arms. Stay away from me and go here, go there. Don't direct your bow and arrow at me. There is some truth to this feeling-wise. Feeling-wise, whenever there is a certain helplessness, the human helplessness, this prayer is good in a way because, yes, there is a desperation. And desperate feeling call for what? Desperate measures. So I invoke Bhagavan as a very fearful being. It is what? My own projection. I make God in my own image, really speaking. It's my own projection. But it's in the Upanishad, which is a Paurusheya, which is God-given, which is a revealed text. Yes. So there is no truth to it? I did not say that. I said there is a certain truth to it. But we look at just a surface level translation and say, oh, this is fostering duality. What do I want? Show me at least one sign of life. What is it? Non-duality. This is Dvaita. What do I want? Advaita. Yeah. Now these are all Sanskrit speaking people. Yeah. So this is what it is. I want non-duality. This is not in keeping with my practices, my beliefs, my concepts to look upon some God. Why? Because what does Vedanta say? You are one with that. Tattvamasi, you are one with that. You are non-separate from the cause of the universe. We forget the steps in getting there. In our eagerness to get there, we skip over the steps. That is what happens. And in so doing, we don't understand the meaning of either surrender or acceptance or the inevitable. This is the problem. The Rudram is seen as a very, very, very holy chant because it doesn't stop here. These were just the opening lines. There are 11 chapters called Anuvakas. And in each Anuvaka there is a progression of the devotion. This is the beginning level devotion, like this: God, I don't know, where are you? Who are you? What do you look like? And if you're away from me, how can this be non-duality? So many questions. I don't want to believe in this kind of a God who gives me loss, who gives me headaches, who gives me fears, who is the cause of all my tears. This is what the human being says. So in the beginning, the propitiation will take like the primal hunter-gatherer kind of worship. Primal worship, like, oh, whoever you are, Kidrishosi Mahadeva, however you are, whoever you are, Tadrishaya Namo Namaha, however you are, whoever you are, wherever you are, unto that which I don't know, Namo Namaha. All prayer is from a primal fear. The primal prayer is, the basis for the primal prayer is the fear. It's the primal fear, it's the fear of survival. And what we mean by the wrath of God, it can mean many things, but really the wrath of God is just my own fear. That's all it is. But that's not where the bhakti stops. The bhakti starts there. That's what Arjuna is told in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna says there are 4 kinds of devotees. Chatur vidha bhajante mam jana sukritino Arjuna. Arto, artharthi, jignasu and jnani. 4-fold devotees are there. They invoke me in various ways. And the one who does not understand the deeper meaning of the Rudram that I just chanted, what do they see? They just see the fear. That is the first level of devotee. What is God? Where is God? Who is God? They don't. All these questions they find very odd. They are not interested in that. What are they interested in? They just want to know that if there is such a thing called God, I better offer one coconut just to be safe. Go to the temple one day, offer a coconut or do something. When? When I am in trouble. Otherwise what God? Where God? Everything is going swimmingly well. Oh no, there is an obstacle. Ganesha, you-hoo, where are you? Suddenly I think of Ganesha when? When there is a hump in my road of life, then Ganesha starts to look very attractive. So Artha means the helpless one, the desperate one. And in English we can call this person a 911 devotee. Just like you don't think of 911 all the time. You don't think of the number 911 at all. When do you think of the number 911? When there is danger, when there is a fear. When your life is in danger or somebody that you love is having a difficult time, some accident, whatever it is, fire, all these things. Life-threatening situation, you call 911. And similarly, the devotee calls Bhagavan in the life-threatening situation. But that's not where the devotion stops. The second kind of devotee is much more pragmatic. Says, okay, I know you exist, and you know what? We should have a contract, you and I. I'm going to give you an expensive sari, O goddess. Make my child pass the exams. The child in question has already failed twice, okay? So make this failing child pass the exams, because why? I'm going to give you a sari, I told you. And does the goddess say very, very sorry? No, the goddess says tathastu. Miraculously, perhaps, the power of the prayer, we don't know what happens, how it happens. Perhaps the child passes the exam. And a lovely sari is presented to the goddess, who is what? The queen of the universe. And she is certainly not waiting for anybody's sari. Okay? But this is our way of understanding. Then the third level of devotion is more in the form of questions than in the form of propitiation. Who are you? Where are you? What makes you tick? Why am I so attracted to you? Am I separate from you? Am I part of you? Am I non-separate from you? Who am I in relation to you? How do I bridge this gap between me and you? Why do I feel alienated from you? Why do I yearn for you? And why are you so appearing to be so elusive that even when I want you, I don't get you? These are the questions of a jignasu bhakta. Jnatumichha jignasa, the one who wants to know the truth. You see, there is a progression. There is a progression in the devotion. Then finally, the last one is called Jnani, also a bhakta. Bhakta means devotee. Jnani means the one who knows myself and Lord Krishna or whatever. Myself and Ishvara are one. The Jnani knows this through years of study, contemplation and living that knowledge. The Jnani knows this without a shadow of doubt, error or vagueness. But the Jnani still says what? Everything is all one, and that one is Ishvara. The Jnani need not say that. The Jnani need not be a bhakta at all. The Jnani need not be a devotee. The Jnani can say, you know what? I don't need to do this. I'm a Jnani. I'm one with everything. Why do I have to acknowledge an Ishvara? In a way, acknowledging Ishvara itself is tantamount to duality, and I am a non-dualist, and so why do I have to acknowledge Ishvara? In a way, that Jnani is right. She or he is right, but what we do is we look at what happens after self-knowledge. What goes? Ajnanam goes. Ajnanam means what?
Ignorance.
Self-ignorance. Ignorance goes. Ignorance goes. Does the body go? No, thank God. Yeah, already so few people for Vedanta. And as soon as one is enlightened, I think I get it. Tattva must see. Nobody will come. And besides, there won't be any teachers. Whoever is teaching will be ajnani. There will not be any jnanis who teach. Thank God the life continues. The body doesn't go. Does the mind go? The mind also doesn't go. Everything is in fact the same. After jnanam, after self-knowledge, my body is here, my mind is here, my senses are here, and then when I look at the world, you are here, he is here, she is here, sunset is here, ocean is here, everything is here. Nothing has changed. Has nothing changed? No. Internally, everything has changed. Externally, nothing has changed. This is a very interesting, thing from this. This is called jnanadhyasa. Jnanadhyasa means the arthadhyasa and jnanadhyasa. This is, so it's like looking at the sunset. Is there a sun that is setting?
No.
No. Sun is not setting at all. What sun? What setting? It's the earth that is going around. Sun is not setting. I know that the sun is not setting. I can still what? Appreciate it. Appreciate the sunset. Knowing full well that there is no sun that is setting. If I stand on the hillock and look at the sunset and then say, this is nothing. It's not the sun setting, it's an illusion created by the clouds and the smog and the waves and all these things. And the refraction of the sunlight into the water and all these things, then it would not be enjoyable at all. So the duality for the person of knowledge is something to be respected because it continues. It is not to be taken seriously, but it is to be respected. Why? Because it's Ishvara Srishti, it is Ishvara made duality. Therefore it is worshipful, therefore it is respected. Therefore it is acknowledged, and finally, therefore, it is a lot of fun, great fun. If you know mithya, duality as mithya, mithya means dependent reality. It's all dependent on me. Really, that's where the Sri Rudram ends up. Beautiful. So the Sri Rudram is composed of 2 parts, each one having 11 chapters. In the first chapter, we have the struggling devotee, the 911 devotee saying, please, don't let me suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. I always think that, Shakespeare must have studied Rudram. Really. The language is remarkably similar here. And Hamlet. So don't let me suffer these consequences of what? My own karma. My own karma comes back to me, not your karma, not the neighbor's karma, not somebody else's karma. Still I complain, still I am scared because I don't know what I did in the last life. I don't know what I did previous to that. I don't know what I'm about to do later on. And so this becomes a source of consternation. This is the first chapter. And in the succeeding chapters, you see a kind of a blossoming and a emotional maturity on part of this devotee, and therefore of the devotion that comes out. And there the devotee in the succeeding chapters says, this is all you. There is no such thing called me. O Lord, let there be more and more of you and less of me, and let me just abide in this cosmos, one with everything. Wherever I see you. In the dried leaves, I see you. In the blades of grass, I see you. In the sky, I see you. In the earth, I see you. I hear you in the babbling brook. I experience you in the wind when I outstretch my hands to greet it. Everywhere, it is just your own presence. It's all you. Namaha unto that presence. Namaha means it is really an expression of, we translate it as salutation, but actually it is surrender. Surrender means acceptance. Namaha is an indeclinable expression of acceptance. Namaha, acceptance, yes. This is how the sky is. This is how my karma is. This is how the situation is. This is how the earth is. We don't expect the oak tree to bear mangoes. No amount of prayer is going to make it do that. It is inevitable that the oak tree will only have those oak, whatever it produces, acorns or whatever it is. It's not going to produce mangoes. And the oak tree also does not violate the laws of its being. It does not say, what is this? Father was oak tree, grandmother was oak tree, great-grandmother was oak tree, oak, 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 oak. This is not okay with me. I want to go somewhere else. I want to be something else. I want to go to the Bahamas and be a palm tree. I want to be a coconut tree in the Bahamas. I don't want to do this. What am I doing here? It doesn't do that. Why? It doesn't have free will. It is programmed by the laws of the universe. The laws of the universe are not mandates of Ishvara, they are manifestations of Ishvara. So therefore the devotee says, everything is you. Unto the smallest pebble, Namaha. Unto the biggest and the most scariest animal on the earth, Namaha, 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 Namaha. That's how the first 11 chapters conclude. There are 300 Namahas. Why stop at 300? It can be 3,000, 30,000, 300,000, 3 million, 3 trillion, whatever, we can keep on increasing it. That also is not the stopping point. If we come away thinking that the first portion of the Rudram, which is called Namaka, because it has Namaha, 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 until you get tired of saying Namaha. And in fact, it says in the kind of worship that one does in the temple, you are supposed to completely fall flat on the floor each time you hear the word Namaha. Who needs gym after this? The ritual itself takes care of this. Each time you hear Namaha, you fall on the floor. And then you get up. And then by the time you get up and dust yourself, 2 more Namahas have come. So immediately you bow down again. This is what you have to do 300 times. If you want to do this properly. Not for the faint of heart. If we come away thinking that all this is Ishvara, that is also still partial knowledge. But it is a knowledge that we cannot escape in order to get to the next step, to the next level. And we cannot escape this. It's just like you cannot escape a high school diploma and say, I want to go to graduate school now. Who will admit you in the university? Nobody. You have to have, this is a precursor to that. You cannot escape that. It has to go in a progression because that's how the human mind is. It goes, hesitatingly, it goes slowly, it has to, and all the sages have mapped out and charted the territory of this spiritual growth, this progression. Then we come to the next chapter, the next set of chapters, the second part. What is it called? Chamakam. Because there is a refrain. Chame. Shanchame, Mayaschame, Priyanchame, Nukamoschame, Kamoschame. Like this. Chame, 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 chame. Which simply means and me, and me, and me. Here too there is a small progression, because the word me in Sanskrit can either be Mahyam, short form of Mahyam, which means for me. Because here too in the 11 chapters there are all these objects that are given, and then let this be there for me, let this be there for me. This is also not a very high level prayer. It's a gimme, gimme, gimme prayer. Yeah. It's no different. Here we don't see the prayer of the non-dualist. We don't see the prayer of the Vedantin here. We don't see the Jnani Bhakti coming out at all. But another understanding of the word me is it is mine. Mine. Not for me. That is the fourth case. Dative case. But this is mine. Genitive case. Possessive case. Mine means it's already mine. It's already me. So all the things that are mentioned, the cattle, the sun, the moon, the planets, the riches in the earth, the grains, everything is what? Me. Mine. Me. Non-separate from me. That is how it should be taken. Then it becomes a Vedantin's prayer towards the end. The whole thing is like that. We cannot skip a step. If we skip a step, then we just land up, it's like playing those, what is that called, board game, snakes and ladders. You can't skip. Otherwise one is back to square one somehow. And so, in this we see that the Ishvara that is presented is at once extremely intriguing and at the same time very, very vague if we don't understand. If we understand, then there is no conflict whether to pray or not to pray on part of the Jnani, because everything is fun. The one who has Atma Jnanam, self-knowledge, do they stop eating?
No.
Say no, so we can move on. Yeah. Do they stop eating? No. Do they stop drinking? No. Do they stop sleeping? No. Do they stop walking?
No.
Do they stop talking?
No.
Certainly not. They love to talk. So then, if they are reproducing the duality in every area, why? Because they know it's all as though. So the prayer is also, the bhakti is also what? As though. The altar of worship is what? As though. The subject-object difference between myself and Ishvara is what? As though. I do it as an inspiration to others. Especially if one is a jnani, one better be very responsible in the steps they take. If the jnani says, I am a Vedantin, I don't need to go to the temple, then what will happen? Nobody will go to the temple. Everybody will start skipping the steps. From verses 21 to 26 in the Bhagavad Gita, a very important message is given. Yadyadacharati shresthaha tattadevetaro janaha Sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanu vartate. Shrestha, a leader in the society. And leader means we always look up to somebody. And that looking up to somebody is the cause of distress. Because inside that, and I've been thinking about this a lot, there is a kind of a savior messianic psychology hidden. Come and save me. You be my leader. You help me. I'm in a ditch. Save me. Tell me what to do. Show me what to do. Lord Krishna says, no. Be the leader you want to see. Be that person. And whether you recognize it or not, you are a leader. You say, what? Who, me? I have a quiet life. I live in the suburbs and I don't even have a following on what is called X now, which used to be Twitter. I don't even have a following on social media. What to talk of following in real life? What do you mean? I don't even have a following on virtual life. I'm just the most boring person. I just, nobody follows me. I'm not a leader. You will be surprised. Everybody is a leader. At least one or two people look up to you. The family dog looks up to you. I can't say about the cat, okay? Yeah. The cat expects everyone else to look up to it. Maybe the dog even is looking at you adoringly. Somebody looks up to you. You cannot say that I'm not influencing anybody. You are. You may not be one of those YouTube influencers. It's fine if you are, but you may not be, and that's okay. Somebody or the other is looking up to you. To think that I am not a source of inspiration for anyone in this world is a personal problem, because it's not the truth. It's an expression of one's own hopelessness. And Lord Krishna makes a very important maxim here. And what is this maxim? The maxim is exactly in which manner the Shrestha, the person of exaltation, a leader, behaves, in the same way the people follow. Sayat pramanam kurute, whatever decisions the person makes, she or he makes certain decisions and carries them out. Seeing them, all the followers also do that. You may be an inspiration to your children, to the neighbors, to people in the family, who knows. And then further, Lord Krishna says, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. In all the three worlds, I don't have anything to do. I don't do anything. I just am. Why? Why do I not have anything to do? Na anaptam avaptavyam. There is nothing that is ungained by me that I need to gain. Why? Because I have mastered the second portion of the Rudra. Chame, chame, chame. It's all me, it's all me, it's all me. If it's all me, then what is it that I want? I don't want anything. Neither do I want to get something, nor do I want to get rid of something. Neither, I don't want anything at all. And so therefore what? Trishu lokeshu, in all the three worlds. And then he continues, Yadi hi ayam na varteyam jatu karmani tandritah mama vartmanu vartante manushyaha partha sarvashah utsideyurime lokaha na kuryat karma chedaham sankarasya kartasyam upahanyam imaf prajaha. There's nothing that I want. There's nothing I need to get rid of. But supposing I said, okay, I'm a fulfilled being. I'm just going to sit and chill. I'm not going to do anything. Why should I do anything? I don't need to do anything. But you don't find me you don't find me sitting still. Even now, what am I doing? Driving this chariot. While I'm talking this, I'm doing something. I'm driving the chariot. I don't need to drive your chariot. I don't need to be doing all this. But I still do it because I know that if I don't do this, then all the people will stop doing things. And if they stop doing things, what will happen? I will be destroying my own creation. Why? Because the people have to keep doing things until they discover the truth of themselves. They have to keep reproducing duality until they question that one day. I can't make them question that. Their own trajectory will one day make them question, is this all what life is about? Going to work, coming home, doing this, doing that. Is this what this is all about? And certain fundamental spiritual questions. Who am I? What am I? Why am I being put here? What is my purpose? Why am I born? Why are these things happening to me? They get activated. For them, those questions to be activated, and for that to culminate in the understanding that I am not a doer, the path to non-do, the vision of non-doership is paved through the proper doing and fulfilling of the duties. This is one more paradox in Vedanta. Vedanta is full of paradoxes, just like this one. So the path of the vision of non-doing, the path that leads one to the vision of non-doing and non-separation from everything, is paved through the stones of what? Doing. Karma yoga. Doing properly, doing what needs to be done, and doing not for the sake of gaining results, but for the sake of gaining emotional growth and maturity to understand this vision of no division. For the Jnani, there is acceptance. Why? That acceptance, it's not a resignation. It's not a apathy. It is a proactive acceptance born of the understanding that if something happens, this is how it is. This is how it is. And we have many stories to illustrate that, not only in the Hindu tradition, but in the Zen Buddhist tradition, in so many traditions. There is one such tale where this Zen master is living on top of a hill somewhere in Japan, and then one young girl is coming every day to clean his kutia and then bring some fruits and all for him. And then it is discovered in the village that this girl is pregnant. Immediately what? The suspicion falls on the master. And before, the people used to go with flowers, bouquets, garlands, food, fruits. Now they all went with sticks and stones. How dare you, you scoundrel! What did you do? What is wrong with you? You have spoiled her life, and this is what you have done. He just kept quiet. Didn't say anything. Did not do anything. Did not say a word. He said, is that so? That's all he said. Really? Is that so? Yes, it is so. You should be ashamed of yourself. And then they went away, and then the baby was born, and the father of the girl was so angry. He got this newborn baby and threw it in the monk's lap and said, you take care of it. This is yours. And the monk simply said, is that so? And now the monk had not only to beg for himself, because no food was coming up the hill where his little hut was. He had to go down to the village. Now he had to beg for two. This wailing baby had to ask for some milk. And in that village, they saw him coming from there, and then they would just close the door and say all kinds of terrible things. So he had to walk to the next village, and somehow he brought up the baby. It was, 3-4 months old. And then one day, he was putting the baby to sleep. It was not quieting down, and the villagers came again, and he looked out of the window and said, oh my God, now they're really going to be mad again. What is it now? He must have thought. But the villagers were all smiles. The young girl was there. Along with that, another young man was there. And finally, she had confessed that she had fallen in love with this man from the other village, and where there was some kind of a family feud, so she was afraid of the consequences, and it took her a few months to accept this baby and accept this relationship, and for the parents to also accept this. So now they came with a different request. They said, please bless them. They're going to get married. Please give the baby back. This is not your baby. What did he say? Is that so? That's all he said. Is that so? Okay. That takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of strength. Then one might ask the question, why did he not speak on his own behalf? He knew it was inevitable. He knew it would not make a whit of difference. He could see with his jnana chakshu, the eyes of wisdom. He could see. Because when this Atma Jnanam sits in the heart, you can see things. You can see that no amount of protests, denial, convincing, you can just, you will get tired, that's it. But you will not be believed. Why? Because the monk also, so to speak, has prarabdha. Prarabdha means karma. So there was karma of the monk. Some kind of karma was there to face these difficulties. That's why Pujya Swamiji used to say that the human being is very much like a tea bag. Why, Swamiji? Why? Why is the human being like a tea bag? Because both the strength of the tea bag and that of the human being is revealed when they are put in hot water. That's why they are like, the human being is like a tea bag. Otherwise, if everything is going swimmingly well, where is the strength? Where is the resilience? Where is the buoyancy? You could see, is that so? Same thing happened with that Kanchi Shankaracharya. He was just sitting and meditating one day, and the police came. There was some kind of a, some kind of a hodgepodge in terms of the ashram accounts or something like that. And obviously the pontiff was not at fault. It was some low-level person who had siphoned off some funds. Instead, to everybody's horror, on national TV, the pontiff was handcuffed and taken away. If you looked at him, no protest. He just went. Then somebody visited him. Somebody brought food for him. How is life here? He said, I like it. It's very quiet. Nobody disturbs me. I can read the Upanishads. I can read the commentaries. It's very quiet. Nobody disturbs me. He was in solitary confinement. This is what it is. And the same thing happened. That's why there is an expression, stone walls do not a prison make, nor do the iron bars of a cage. We have so many such stories. In the 70s, there was some kind of a protest against cow slaughter in India. A lot of sadhus went from Rishikesh and Haridwar by train to Delhi to protest in front of the parliament. So there was a big group of orange in front of the parliament in New Delhi protesting this cow slaughter. And of course, they were disturbing the public, and they were arrested and put in jail. They thought it will be a deterrent. Tomorrow, not many people will come. They'll say, oh, all our other sadhus and other lineages and our shishyas and everybody, shishya means students, our students and gurus are all in jail. But to their surprise, the number of protesters doubled the next day, tripled the next day, and quadrupled the day after. People started to come in drones wanting to be arrested. And then it was very intriguing. Nobody, they didn't know. They were running out of prison space to keep them. Pujya Swamiji was also approached. And then the mystery was solved when Pujya Swamiji was approached by a protester saying, I have a ticket to Delhi for you. Please come and protest with us. Why would I do that? Swamiji said, no, you don't understand. Don't worry, it won't be hard on you. We'll look after you. Within 5 minutes, you will be arrested. Why would I want to be arrested? You don't understand. They take you to jail and you can keep your Gita book. And then they give you free food 3 times a day, very good food. And then nobody bothers you. You don't have to run the ashram. You get a nice vacation. That's why more and more and more people were courting arrest. The sadhus are weird, okay? They think differently. This is how it is. And so like this we see that the prisons we make are just a prison of concepts, wrong concepts, misapprehensions, and not understanding the meaning of the word inevitable. The word inevitable has within it a law. The law of karma as it pertains to the collective, as it pertains to my own life, as it pertains to people around me. There is a karmic connection. Nothing is random. Nothing is a coincidence. For us, coincidence means it's a name for Bhagavan, as we understand it. Randomness is Bhagavan, another name of Bhagavan. Ishvara is randomness. Coincidence is Ishvara. Randomness is Ishvara. There is nothing random in the universe. Scientists will tell you that. That is why scientists love Vedanta, because it doesn't fly in the face of whatever they are saying. It accepts everything. And therefore, this understanding that sometimes it is difficult or impossible to ward off something. It is impossible to ward it off. What are you going to do? You cannot ward it off. Not for want of trying. I'm not saying sit quietly and passively and then become passive aggressive because it did not go one's own way. No. Try. The inevitable is that after that which even after trying does not alter. There's only one thing that alters. What? You. It alters you. It does not alter. Such things are meant to alter you, because that only makes the difference. You have to alter. That's why it's called the altar of surrender, because it has the power to alter you. That is what it is. It changes you. Other things may not change. Other people will not change. You can change. You can see in every inevitable situation that is difficult to accept, difficult to understand, difficult to endure, difficult to overcome. You can see first the presence of Ishvara, step number 1. But that's not enough. And next, to see it as an opportunity for growth. An opportunity for gaining emotional maturity, through which you can be open and ready to receive this sacred knowledge that everybody is not so interested in. Very few are able to appreciate and have the interest. And if you are one of them, This is the starting point. Being in acceptance. Acceptance is not giving up. Inevitable is not that which makes you hopeless. Acceptance is surrender to that which is beyond my control. I have will, I have sense organs, I have organs of action. I can effect a few changes in my life, but I do not control the results of everything, including my own actions. This is the famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita. How does it go? Karmani eva adhikarahate ma phaleshu kadachana. You have you have power over your actions. You do not have power over the results of you do not create the results of your actions. Simple. That is where the lessons of inevitability lie. I can act, but I do not control the results. It's hard to take, because how do we go about life? We go about life as though we are controlling all the results. This is the problem. This is exactly the problem. Ma karma phala hetur bhuhu ma te sangostu akarmani. Don't become the cause for the result of action. Don't be that, because this will lead to disappointment. And on the other hand, don't also do what? Say, I'm not going to act. I'm going to sit. I'm actionless. Sitting, hello, I have news for you. Sitting is an action. Yes. But why is sitting an action? Sitting is an action because in deciding to sit, did you make a decision to sit or not? Yes. I decided to sit this one out. Means you decided. Decided means what? There is free will being in operation or not? Yes. So wherever the free will is used, that is what is called karma, action. So even if you say, I refuse to make a choice, I refuse to participate, that is an action. May you not do that. May you not become a dropout of life. May you be responsible. May you be a responsible citizen of your own life, of your own community, of your own nation. May you be a responsible person, doing what you need to do, and letting the results first say, the results are not in my hands. Then of course the question is, whose hands are they in? So you drag in a proxy called Ishvara. You need a proxy who will hold the results of action, because they are not in my hands. Somewhere they have to be. Then how can I be the doer without producing the results of action? Then the next step is to say, no, let me drag in Ishvara here to be the doer as well. You are the doer, I am just the instrument, you are the one producing the results of action. There is a kind of a comfort in that. There is a great comfort in that. But we don't stop there. The next step is to see everything as a law. And that Ishvara is non-separate from that law, not a creator of this law, but the one who is non-separate from this law. And in that we delight. And then finally to say, I am this law. I am the law of gravity. I am the sunset. I am the sunrise. I am the intellect in every mind. I am. When I say I am, I mean that awareness, that consciousness which pervades everything, which is non-separate from everything, because of which everyone is able to move, the eyes because of which are able to see, the ears because of whose presence are lighted up with the ability to catch sound. That consciousness, which is the truth of myself, which is myself alone, that is what is everything. And then that is of course the ultimate stage. But as I said, we cannot skip the stages. skipping the stages is not a shortcut. In fact, it is like one step forward and 3-4 steps backwards. We'll end here. You can ask questions if you want. We can have some time for questions after the closing prayer. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Yes.
So basically, inevitably, whatever our karmas, those karmas are coming to us. Our karmas are producing other,
Our karmas are producing results, yes.
and those are inevitable. Those are coming.
Those are inevitable.
That's like vicious cycle. So getting out of it, we have to have some kind of like Parameshwara's Ashirvad that we move toward either spirituality, either tantra or something to get out of the circle.
No, that is why. That is why the free will is used here. The free will is used mainly, primarily, because the karma becomes intolerable.
But then how is it like our karma, our actions, our mati may not, we have options. I mean, 30 people have options to come here to listen to you. We had that message, but not everybody opted. So, our free will is also kind of, it's messed up.
Yes, I agree with that. No argument there. No argument there, yes. No, but what you said is actually a very clever thing. The free will is not free at all. The so-called free will, we should say, because the free will is bound up in a lot of agenda. The free will is controlled by all the strong prejudices and preferences in my life, all the things I want and all the things I want to avoid. It is catching me, it's no longer free. Only in prayer it's free, because I don't have to pray. Nobody has to pray. But when one is praying, there is the will is relatively free, because the desperate person, even the desperate person who is praying, the 911 devotee, when they are praying also, why should they pray? They can go rob a bank. But they don't do that. They choose to pray. So there is a certain kind of a grace there. There is a certain kind of a beauty there. So the free will is free in prayer and in reaching out actions like giving, dana, charity, etc., etc. Helping somebody else. Not just through money, through so many things. Then the will is free, because I don't have to do that, but I choose to do that. Otherwise, the will is not free at all. And one more thing, when we say karma, we have to be very careful, because karma means what? It's not some they think it's destiny. Many people think it's destiny. It's all something frightening which is predestined. What is this karma? Karma here means karma phala, the results of action from this or previous lives. So when I go in tandem with what is correct, what is right, and what is right for me with dharma, then I get the results in the form of comfortable situations which I enjoy either here or in the hereafter. That is the belief. If I violate that dharma, if I do unjust things and lead an do unrighteous acts or lead an unrighteous life, then this translates into uncomfortable situations to be endured in the here or the hereafter. So when I did those righteous situations, was I not using my free will? Yeah? Yes. When I did those unrighteous situations, when I decided to transgress dharma, steal, pilfer, and then defraud somebody, was I not using my free will? Yes, I was. And so what we call this destiny is actually my own free will being gift wrapped and sent back to me. Yes, the consequences of my own free will. That's what it is. Where is the destiny? Predestiny, destiny. I don't understand this at all. It's not somebody else's karma, it's your own karma. This is something we have to remember. Other questions?
Can we take it in
There's somebody behind you after that, yes.
So, in
Kalpana wants to say.
continuation to that, the result, this is always my question, that the results of karma, everybody does different karma. And
I have to repeat it for the online people. So everybody does different karma,
and
yes,
the phalams are different.
and the results are different,
Results are
yes.
different. So where are my phalam, results of my actions stored? Or how does it relate to the law and order?
Yeah, how does it? Yeah, but see, every karma is different. Every result is also different. But then there is a general understanding that that difficult actions in opposition to dharma causes discomfort. Karma cannot make you sad. It can make you uncomfortable. The step you take from discomfort to sadness, that's on you, really. It's one thing to say, I'm extremely uncomfortable in this situation, physically, emotionally, mentally, however you want to do. But to say, why me? That requires another messed up iteration of the free will. That is optional. People don't see that. Karma can give discomfort, but it cannot make you sad. Yeah.
So because we see like some of my friends are suffering with so many health problems for so long.
Yeah.
And some are just healthy all the way
Yes,
through.
some people have bodies like, what is that,
And
Tesla.
Then they say that this is my result of my actions. That's what they accept,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So how does that work? I mean,
That's how it works. Some bodies are like, what is that, like Tesla, new Tesla. Certain other bodies are what? Like old cars, jalopies, barely passing the smog check. Yes. Some bodies are like that. But it's just the body, it's not me. That is where the understanding has to come.
okay.
It's the house in which I live is falling apart. I am not falling apart. That's what it is. So you patch up as much as you can with pills, potions and lotions. You keep it going. For every notion there is a potion and a lotion. Okay? Yeah. You keep it going. You keep it going as much as possible. That's what I mean. That certain people are healthy, certain people are sick. Why? Because of their karma. We can say that. But that's also not, it's not what we have to, that's not the main point. The main point is more deeper than that. Why are they suffering? They are suffering in a certain way. But then that suffering percolates into the mind and the emotions because one is not seeing the situation objectively. The subjectivity creeps in the form of two words. Why me? And 8 billion people in the world are saying at the same time, why me? So then you see how ridiculous it is. If everybody is saying, that means nobody is being targeted over here. Nobody is a victim. Yes.
Yeah, the prarabdha.
Prarabdha karma, yes.
Prarabdha karma.
Yes.
So there is a huge list of prarabdha karma for each individual. So is it the individual choice to exhaust as much as possible this
No,
janma?
we can't exhaust everything. If you have had one life as a human being, there is innumerable karmas. This is a belief. It's a non-verifiable belief. Nobody has gone and seen. This is what the scriptures say. That's all. It's a non-verifiable belief that if you have had one life as a human being, you have innumerable amounts of karma. So if I say, I'll get moksha, freedom from this life of constant want and becoming by exhausting each and every karma, the only person that will be exhausted is you, not the karmas. You can't exhaust. And neither does it have to be exhausted, because karma is a spoof. It's a model. It's like in physics, there is models. And the models have a certain function. Karma is a model. A model that is designed to give accountability between my actions and consequences of those actions. A model that is designed to make me live a life of responsibility and mutual respect with others. A model that helps me be an ethical person. That is the purpose of the karma model. Because the karma, whether we talk of action or the results of action, karma or karma phala, both of them are connected to what? Karta, the doer. The doer of action reaps the results of action, is it not? Yes. So it's connected to doer and doership. What happens in self-knowledge? The doership is dropped. In the light of this waking up, I was slumbering the sleep of ignorance for lifetimes. And then what? The Guru touched my shoulder and woke me up into this knowledge. The grace of the Guru touched my shoulder and awoke me into this knowledge. And then what happened? What karma? The karta is falsified, the doer is falsified. So all the results of action are what? Falsified. It's like a dead person's bank account. Supposing the person dies intestate, does not leave a will. Does the money still belong to that person? You can't say that. The person is gone. Another example, it's like sometimes people stand for election and one of the candidates just dies in the middle, but too late to remove from the ballot. And the people don't like the people who are standing for election, they vote for the dead person. The dead person wins the election. Yeah, it's like that. All the karmas are falsified because I no longer have an identification that they belong to me. Why? Because I have awoken to a different reality, where I am neither the doer nor am I done in by other people's actions. Because otherwise we have only two self-definitions. I am the doer. Oh no, I'm done in. Then we ricochet back and forth. The more I identify with the doer, there is the sense of guilt. This is expressed very well in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Kimaham sadhu na karavam, kimaham papam akaravam iti. Why did I do the wrong thing? Why didn't I do the right thing? This is guilt all the time. Oh, why did I do this? This is the gut-wrenching, hand-wringing guilt. Why? Because I cannot accept my own omissions and commissions. As though that is not enough, then there is hurt. What is hurt? I cannot accept other people's omissions and commissions towards me. That is hurt. Why did you forget my birthday? Why did you forget this? Why couldn't you do this? This is hurt. So half the life guilty, other half the life hurty. Or sometimes guilty marries hurty. Okay? It's a very interesting marriage, because the guilty person cannot stop apologizing, and no matter how much the guilty person apologizes for the hurt person, it's never enough. This is what happens. So the freedom from this guilt and hurt is Atmajnanam, is self-knowledge, is moksha, is liberation, is what we call enlightenment. That's what it is. So when that happens, the doership drops, and whatever has been done also drops, because the doership and the results of action are connected. They drop together. The Mundakopanishad promises, Bhidyate hridaya granthihi. The heart knot of ignorance is torn asunder. Chidyate Chidyante sarva samshayaha. All doubts are just dispersed. Kshiyante cha asya karmani. All the karmas are gone. Tasmin drishte paravare. This avara, this person who considered himself to be a lowly being, now sees oneself as Parabrahman. I'm one with that which is the most exalted. I used to think of myself as lowly, and now I'm the most exalted. Or I used to think of myself as the effect, now I see myself as non-separate from the cause. And when that happens, all the karmas, including prarabdha karma, prarabdha karma means that which we carry in this life, are gone. But still the body of the jnani continues, and the jnani may fall sick, the jnani may be in a wheelchair, the jnani may have dementia, doesn't matter, it does not touch the knowledge, because the knowledge is not based on memory. So there goes your excuse for saying, I cannot pursue Vedanta because I don't have a good memory. It's you, it's not what you know. It's centered on you alone. And so the prarabdha karma also we say is gone from the standpoint of the jnani. The jnani doesn't say, this is my body, oh I am suffering, I am enduring this. The other people looking at the jnani says, why did the jnani fall sick? Oh, because of his karma, her karma. They say that. No karma. Karma goes because the karta goes. Yes. Karta is a superimposition upon the Atma that is free of doership. Yes.
So dharma also is in a way messed up, right? Because Krishna says to Arjuna that go fight, do the war, kill people, that's your dharma. What we have learned is a certain way of living and everything. So when this free will comes in, how do I know what's the right thing to do in every situation? Like I don't have a Krishna with me all the time. Or
yes,
how
you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you
so then
do.
how do I invoke him and
that's a better. That's very well put.
okay, yeah. How do I know that whatever is right for me may be wrong for somebody else?
Yes.
There's always this situation. So
First of all, dharma is not messed up. We who are looking and interpreting dharma, yes, we can say that our tools to interpret dharma are compromised, we can say. Dharma is not messed up, it is very clear. It's extremely clear. That there are three components of dharma. First is that which is universal, which is there in every religion. Don't hurt people, don't kill people, don't take away their things. Just be a decent human being. We say that this dharma is a manifestation of God. Wherever there is dharma, there is Ishvara. If there is dharma in the heart, you are very close to Ishvara. There is peace in the heart, if one is following dharma. This is what we say. So then that is Samanya dharma. Then we have Vishesha dharma, a subset of that dharma itself, which as it applies to specific situations, specific time, specific place. So, for example, if ahimsa means you won't hurt people. You will practice non-violence. But then what does the surgeon do? The surgeon cuts open a body part and removes a tumor. And yet, even though the surgeon has just wielded the knife in the operating room, as soon as the surgeon comes out, the family members embrace the surgeon because the surgery was successful. So why is himsa allowed? Because there is a greater good in this. In order to save the life, a relative himsa for the absolute value of saving that life is vishesha. Vishesha means a specific situation. Same thing. It says here in America, drive on the right side of the road. And you are following the law. Yes, I have to drive on the right side of the road. And then also on the right side of the road is coming a huge 18-wheeler in front of you. Why? Because whatever reason, the person is inebriated or whatever, who knows? So are you going to say, I'm still going to be driving on the right side of the road because that is the right thing to do? I'm a law-abiding citizen? No. You'll quickly look to the left and heave a quick sigh of relief that nobody is there, and you will veer to the left. And in fact, the police who would have otherwise caught you for driving on the left side of the street will appreciate you for your quick reflexes and thinking. This is Vishesha Dharma. Then a subset of Vishesha Dharma is Swadharma. What is it that I have to do in any specific given situation? I'll illustrate this by a story. Two young men go to a guru, not at the same time, but one after the other. And both of them have the same question. Can I go get married? To the first, the guru says, yes, please get married, and gives him lots of fruits and flowers and blesses him. And the second man goes and says, can I get married too? And then the guru says, are you out of your mind? Get out of here. Two people, same age, they were friends, and then one of them got the blessings to get married, and the other one was told, go get a job first. Yes, because it was not the dharma, not the swadharma of the person who cannot even upkeep himself or herself. What will they marry? What is the use of that? So this way, swadharma means that which is right for me to do, that which is my duty to fulfill. That is one component of Swadharma. Another component is the creative component of why was I created on this earth? There must be some purpose. Sometimes it takes a whole lifetime to understand the purpose. We say, let it. Tathastu. Let it take the whole life. It's okay. There is a purpose for everybody. And we have to accept and embrace that purpose. In a machine, there are many parts. There is the piston, it moves like this, it goes like this and whatnot. And there is the nut. The nut has to stay put, correct? But the nut is jealous of the piston. That's why it's called nut, okay? Yeah. And the nut says, I also want to move. It tries to move clockwise, but nothing happens. Then it tries to move anti-clockwise. Hey, I can move. I'm loose. I'm very happy. I'm also moving just like the piston. What happens? The whole machinery falls apart. You are not in a vacuum. You are not dropped in from the sky. You are connected to a whole web of the scheme of things, which is the iteration, the manifestation of Ishvara, the Lord, the Goddess. So, we have to play the part, no matter how hard it gets. We forget the lines. It's okay, you can look for prompts. Somebody helps sometimes. It's better to do your own part, even though it may be messed up, than to try to follow somebody else's part. That doesn't work. You have your own part. You have your own thing. And that's why I keep saying Shakespeare must have studied Vedanta, because all the world is what? A stage. Men and women are but actors, players. When you know you're a player, life is a play. It's fun. Otherwise, it's miserable. Yeah. Yes.
So, I recently heard Osho's lecture, Osho Rajneesh. He says that even if we are doing your kartavya, like he said, whatever our dharma is we are doing, but the intention behind it is extremely important, otherwise our actions are kind of meaningless.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever the intention.
Of course. If I'm keeping on doing something because I have to do something. I have to do this, I have to do this. Yeah. It will become resentful. You see, the action is for your own growth. It may be benefiting others, but that's secondary. I engage in action for my growth, not for the results of action. This is a very difficult transition and graduation to do, because everybody acts for the sake of the results of action, And so therefore one has to grow into acting for one's own emotional growth. And then so if one refuses to make that transition, and if one keeps on saying, I have to do this, oh, I have to do this, groaning, grunting, resentful, bitter every day, then it is not helping anybody. It's also not helping the person herself, himself. It's not helping. Because action is a form of worship. We say that. Only in this tradition we can say that, really. I don't see it in other traditions articulated so explicitly. Action is a form of worship. Every time I do my duty, it's like a form of worship. And so when you worship, the mindset has to be cheerful. If you go to a puja and you just throw the flowers, here, take. Yeah, you have to do this, take. Yeah. Oh, you want water, here, take. Arati, okay, great. Yeah. That's not puja. But if every work that I do is a flower at the altar of the Lord, then I have to keep that in mind. My action has to be in that particular way. Pujya Swamiji always said, fake it and make it. Even if you're not cheerful, smile, pretend to smile. But I don't want to fake it because I want to be authentic. And right now I feel like, very angry at you because you're saying this to me. So I want to be authentic. That's not authentic. Do you want to be angry all the time? No. So that means you're being inauthentic. The authentic you is joy endless. Enact that, even if you're not feeling that. You're not faking it and making it. You're faking that you're faking it, okay? Yeah. Let's see if there are any questions online. Otherwise we can let us see what's happening over here. No questions. Okay, good. Yes, namaste to everyone. Wonderful.
Swamiji, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If a situation hasn't yet come to pass, how can we discern whether it's inevitable or if it's not?
What? I didn't even understand the question.
If a situation hasn't yet come to pass, but we fear that
Hasn't come to pass means hasn't happened.
Hasn't happened yet.
Okay,
Hasn't
yeah,
happened
that's
yet.
where I lost you. Okay. So if a situation has not happened, then
How can we discern whether it's inevitable or whether
you can't, because it hasn't happened. Simple. You can't. And if you try to second guess yourself, you'll make yourself and everyone else miserable and scared. That is what is that? Those are the seeds of anxiety.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what may happen? It's not happened. Remind yourself, it's not happened. Oh, but it looks like it's going to happen. Okay, put some things in place. Put some, what is that called, some protections in place. It's like buying medical insurance, homeowners insurance, all that you have to do. But then you can't, after buying homeowners insurance and medical insurance, you can't just keep thinking, oh, the house is going to get on fire, the house is going to get on fire. What good is that going to do? I'm going to fall sick, I'm feeling feverish already, I'm falling sick. Either you're going to fall sick or you're not going to fall sick, okay? Yeah. Either way you deal. If you don't fall sick, jump in happiness. If you fall sick, go and lie down in bed. Simple. We have to remove the subjective component in all these things and deal with life objectively.
Sorry to bug you so much. But
It's okay.
We're faking and trying our best and doing our duties. Now my example today, I don't want to say it, but since it's a small group, I have a teenage daughter. She just went to college, and she's been living with her father. Unpleasant situation, let's say. I took her to a nearby farm. There are a bunch of animals and such. So far we are very happy. I mean, okay. When we went there were a bunch of people around, and I was trying to, pet chickens. And
You were
then-
petting chickens? How nice. Okay.
I know, it's, and nobody objects as much because I go there almost every day.
Yeah.
But she became very nasty.
Why?
I don't know. And then I was,
She wanted to be petted instead.
but she didn't want me to pet.
The chickens. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what, like, I'm doing my part, making it, I'm doing my kartavya, my intentions are right, but then how come all of a, like, within fraction of a second, it just changed so nasty. I'm like, you go home, I'm gonna pet whatever I want. And then she went to the car and I petted, and I stood there, petted both, and then I went.
Good for you. Yes. Yeah. So this is a very important thing. Very, very nice, very interesting situation. The situation, let me sum it up for the people online. The situation is how can you be responsible for somebody's happiness? You can't. And that's what you discovered. That's not to say that you can have a conversation later on. After the person has calmed down, you can have a conversation. What was the objection to me petting chickens? What was the trigger? What happened to you when I pet the chickens? What did you feel? What went wrong? Why? And then, let there be some space. After that, you can have that conversation. You are not responsible for somebody else's feeling. But because there is a child here for whom you are responsible, whose upbringing you are responsible, so it will be nice to know the reason.
She said people there, they don't want me to pet the chicken, but people there. It's like,
Yeah. There is obviously, that's just the surface reason. There is something underneath. And so, with love, that will slowly come out. You have to give the space, and for that, the real reason to come out. Usually, what is it with teenagers? They, first of all, they don't want to be seen with their parents, period. And then, if the parent does something, the child is embarrassed because the child thinks that the parent is an extension of me. That's why she went and sat in the car, I suppose, because I don't want to be seen with you. What if you're doing something wrong and I'll be implicated? I don't want to look bad. I don't want to be seen with you. It's all just a part of growing up. Don't take it so seriously. Go home, give her a hug. Everything will be all right. Take some mango lassi for her.
So, as a Swaminiji, you have imbibed lot of values from the Upanishads, and like for example, Raj calls you, you are here, we call you the South Bay, you are there, Sivananda Ashram calls you, you are there. Is this like zero for free will or infinite free will?
It's all the same.
It's the same free will?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Once the doership is not there, so whoever calls, it's all like Ishwara's call. Is that your view?
It's not whoever calls. It's not about that. It's about, I don't know how to explain it, but it's about letting go and being led. That's all it is. Yeah.
so how do we deal with fear like that? I mean, is that we are to do something or we want to do something, but there is a fear that, whatever type of fear, maybe something will go wrong, or where will I end up, or some other fear. So dealing with that would be, it's like, okay, I have to do something and action, this is the action I must take. This will go either way, so we just pray to God and be.
How to deal with fear? The scariest thing about fear is fear itself, really. It's not the fear of something, but it's fear itself. You have to invite it to have a cup of tea with you. It's very effective. Make 2 cups of tea. Keep it one on this side, one on that side. You are sitting on this side, and then you play the role of fear. Go sit on that side and say, what is it that you want? What is it that you're afraid of? Or you don't have to go to that length. You can just make 2 cups of tea and tell the fear, please come. I'm ready to greet you. I'm ready to greet you, and I will not be afraid of you. Come and show me your face. Let us be friends. You befriend the fear, and then it doesn't appear so scary. Because the fear of objects, there's always something you can do about it. Oh, what if I don't catch the flight? Go early. Simple. There's always a upaya, a remedy. Oh, what if I haven't done this properly? Okay, double check it and make sure that everything is in place. What if I'll be late for this interview? Again, leave enough space for traffic and any other possibilities. What if I don't get this job? Doesn't matter, look for another job. The fear of things has solutions because it's objective. But the fear of confronting that fear is a subjective component of that fear. That subjective component must be dealt with and embraced, and after that it's just something to look at, something to compensate for, something to plan properly. It just becomes something to take care of. This is, garden variety fears, yeah.
Can I add something to that? Can I add to her? It's not a question, just something, right? So related to fear. So we moved here from India 6 years back, and it's hard, right? When you move from country to another country. 2 parts to it. One is, if I had thought that I made the decision to move here, the guilt would have killed me, right? I mean, why did you want to move here? All the suffering is because you made the decision. But because I was able to realize I'm not making these decisions, whatever is supposed to happen is happening. I was able to make peace with whatever came my way, right?
Very
and then
nice.
there was fear as well. Okay, what if we lose the job? What if? And then this whole thing is a maya. How does it matter? I live inside the house or on the streets. It's all fun, Like it is so, relieving. You don't fear as much when you realize that this whole thing is a bloody video game. It doesn't really matter where you are, what you do. Who cares? That's very. At least to me, it's very relieving,
Good, very nice. Yes. Yes, okay? All right. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you.